Hey guys, this is Unit 2, additional practice. Number 1 says a small lake cabin in a short sale sold for $62,250, which was 75% of the list price. What did the cabin list for? So we're trying to figure out the list price. If you're having trouble remembering what goes where in your circle, the bottom right is always percentage. Your larger number is always going to go on the bottom left. So list price is typically your larger number, and your sales price or your smaller number goes at the top. So we know that it sold for $62,250, which was 75% of the sales price. When we are working from the top and the bottom, we are going to divide. You have to make 75% a decimal, so it's 0.75. And when you calculate that, that is 83,000. So your answer is D. Okay, number 2 says the seller received a net of $73,320 for her lot after the broker deducted 6% commission. What was the gross sales price of the lot? Okay, so we know we are trying to get a larger number. So we know that what she walked away with, her net, was $73,320. But if her broker deducted commission, your larger number is going to be over here. The gross is without anything taken out. So when we are talking about adding commission back in, or we are adding anything back into the net price, or if someone says, well, I need to walk away with this much, and we can add on commission or negotiation room, we do not just put the 6% in here. We subtract the 6% from 100%, and that leaves us with 94%. That is what goes back in here. This is adding that 6% back into the price on top of. So when we are looking to get a bigger number, this is when we do that. When we are dealing with commission or adding a percentage back into to make a larger number. So we're working from top to bottom. We're going to divide by 0.94. When you calculate that, your answer is 78,000. BD. Number 3 says the seller wishes to sell one of his lots at 14% net profit. He purchased the lot for $37,000. What would the sales price have to be to give him a 14% profit after paying the selling broker a 5% commission on the sales price? So we know that his original investment was $37,000. This was his original investment. He wants to make a 14% profit. So in your book you can see it does 1.14. So 14%, this is your 14%, because remember 14%, you move the decimal over twice, gives you 0.14. When we are talking about profit, he wants to make profit. He is going to get back 100% of his original investment plus some. So in this case, he's going to get back 100% of his original investment plus the 14%. Well, if you do 114% and turn it into a decimal, that is your 1.14. This just saves us from having to add it back, just finding the portion of the profit and adding it back into it. So when you multiply that out, that is $42,180. So that gives us how much we would have to list for if he just wanted his 14% profit. However, he is going to pay a broker 5%. So since we need to add the 5% back in, we are going to do the 100 minus 5%, leaves us with 95. So 95% goes here. We know that we need to add it back into, so we're looking for the larger number. We have the net. It's 42,180. So now all we have to do is divide that. And when you do that, you get 44,400. So your answer is C. Number 4 says the seller received $321,480 after her broker deducted an agreed upon 6% commission. What was the sales price? So essentially, we are just doing this same thing as we did in the second step here. So we know that she received, this is her net, this is what she actually walked away with, $321,480. Her broker took 6%, but we are adding that back into the net so we can figure out what the actual sales price was, the gross. I'm going to put gross here. 100 minus the 6% is 94. So your 94% goes here. Since we're working top and bottom, we're going to divide 321,480 divided by 0.94. And when you divide that out, you get 342,000. So your answer is C. Number 5 says when the sale on a country house was closed, the broker withheld the seller's title expense of $250 after deducting his 6.5% commission of $5,200 and delivered the seller a net check for, well, we don't know the list price or the sales price, but what we do know is that 6.5% commission was $5,200. So the part that we know that his commission was 6.5%, and we know that the part that he received was $5,200. We need to know what that total commission or the total sales price was. So if we take $5,200 and divide it by 0.065, the 6.5%, that is $80,000. So our commission is always based off of the sales price. So the $80,000 was how much it actually sold for. But it says he withheld $250 for title expenses. And he also withheld, of course, his commission. So the commission has to come back out. This is the sales price. This was what he held for title. And then he withheld his $5,200 in commission. So what the seller actually walked away with was $74,550. So your answer is B.